Hey everyone, this is Catherine from Millennials in Motion magazine, and this is our 11th episode of Conversations with the Community. And today I'm sitting down with Corey of the First Friday Foundation. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
Great, me too. Happy to have you here in our First Friday office.
Thank you. So introduce yourself and share a bit about what got you involved with community organizing and outreach.
Well, my name is Corey Fagan, and I'm the Executive Director for First Friday Foundation, and I believe that community is the heart of our city, and that we have some amazing people that live within our community, and connecting with people is incredibly important, and that's why I love First Friday, because it always connects our neighbors and connects our community from near and far, to just kind of really get to know one another. And I think that's super important to create, create impact and create change and create movement and keep people on a synergy that's right. Positive and good.
Absolutely, I'm all for it. And it builds community solidarity and gives us pride in our community. So I love the work that you guys do.
Thank you.
So how did you get involved with First Friday?
Well, I've been putting on events for about 15 years. And I came from a magazine world and a rodeo world once upon a time, and I started volunteering for First Friday to help bring a Western kind of village element to the event initially 7 years ago. And then I started, and then I saw how amazing First Friday was, and I was able to help construct a kids zone area, and I volunteered for that for quite some time. And then I felt that it was a unique platform for other nonprofits to help them create awareness in what they were doing and help really do that outreach and building and connecting with our neighbors and all of the amazing things that happen here in Las Vegas. So I started curating a nonprofit street that incorporated kids and purpose during the event that was unique and amazing. And eventually I just became very hooked on First Friday, and it became my main thing. So yeah, it became my main thing. So I got involved just as a volunteer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know what First Friday is, what is First Friday?
So First Friday is a platform for emerging artists. It is a place where it is free to the community. We're a 501c3. We've been around for 17 years. And it started as just a small street event by 3 women 17 years ago. And the very first Friday had 14 people that had come to it. And it started to grow from there, where artists would come out and show their work, and businesses got a little more exposure, and their attendance started to increase, and people started to get excited about coming out on First Friday and seeing a new artist or checking out these funky little businesses that were downtown. And eventually the attendance and they kind of outgrew themselves, the 3 women who started First Friday. And that's when other developers within the city kind of took over and helped to expand and create the be able to take care of the permits to create the event, and but with always the mission that we would create platforms for artists, that we would connect community with our neighbors and bring people to downtown Las Vegas. We see about now 15 to 20,000 people out at the event every single month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
In the winter months, when it's really, really cold, it's about 10 to 12,000. But on the peak months and the good weather months, which is many in Las Vegas, it's anywhere from 15 to 20. Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't that cold last Friday. I was surprised. Like, I brought extra jackets to be warm, and then I was like in, I think 1 or 2 layers, and I was fine. But I was also like, you know,
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were busy. How did that go?
It was awesome.
Doing ornaments with the community and connecting what you do with Millennials in Motion.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, we got to make some little decorations with some recycled bottles with the kids, and then we had the table with all the different resources for how you could do a zero waste holiday, and you know, take a picture of the flyer that you think that you can do. We're trying to get everyone to do at least one thing for the holidays to, you know, start cutting back on waste and starting that journey on being, you know, zero waste. And then me, my friend Annie, and the 2 girls from the 5 Hour Revolution group, we got to go do our poetry on stage, so that was really cool.
Yeah, that
exciting.
was really cool. Yeah, I got a lot of great feedback from that as well. So, and I got to meet your friends as well, and they were lovely. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm excited to meet you too.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've ever like been on like a stage for my magazine. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, we have a lot of, you know, planning for the 2020 calendar year where we're doing more outreach and we're connecting more with talking about zero waste and talking about important environmental, you know, issues that we have, and really just starting that conversation and helping to create that awareness. So we're happy that you're on board to help us with that. In February, we have the Trash Dash, and we have with the city, where on February 8th, and you're helping us with that.
Yes.
We're going to go out and clean up just a quick dash down First Street, downtown, right this area where First Friday is held, clean up all the trash, and then have an artist already lined up that's going to take the things that are recyclable and create a beautiful piece, and that we'll showcase in March. So that should be a lot of fun.
I'm super excited. Me and my, I don't know if you came by the table, but we had a makeshift baby Yoda that was made out of recycled material that my friend Emily made.
Oh, I didn't catch that, but I wish I would. I did go by your table several times, and you were busy, and and I didn't catch the Yoda though. But that sounds funny. Maybe you'll send me a picture of that.
Absolutely.
But this piece that will be created, we're going to sell it, auction it off at the event. And 50% will go back to Millennials in Motion, so that you can continue to go out and do good works in the community, and 50% will go back to the artist.
Awesome. Yeah. And we'd love to, like I said, my friend, she made the baby Yoda thing. Me and her are already like talking about, like, oh, we could do some really cool like plastic crisis awareness pieces with some leftover recycling that we had from all the pieces that we did for the event last Friday. So like I want to make this like Great Pacific Garbage Patch where I take a bunch of plastic bags and stick some like, you know, forks and straws and things in it, and then have like bottle caps strung down underneath it, because everyone thinks the Pacific Garbage Patch is just a floating pile of garbage, and what it is actually photodegraded plastic that's turned into microplastics. That's just this big cloud. So I wanted that to like kind of show how it's like raining plastic down into the thing. So
that'll be interesting.
I'm super excited
I'll look
for
forward
that.
to that.
Yeah.
You know, we also have the Girl Scouts that comes out and works with us around this time of year, right before their big cookie sale. So maybe that's something that they could get involved in as well. They always love to do things that are environmentally, you know, efficient and safe, and learn more. So maybe that's something we can connect.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. So what are some of the most important values of the organization? You mentioned art and community. Are there any others that you wanted to hit on?
Well, I think important values for First Friday is keeping the event free to the community. You know, we're a 501c3, like I said, and our mission is to, you know, always keep the event free to the community, so that the community, the local community, in such a place where Las Vegas is so touristy and always, you know, catering towards our tourists, and our locals work to cater towards our tourists. We tend to want to cater towards our locals, and we invite the tourists to come and enjoy our art and visit with us, but it's really a place for you know, families to come out, generations of families, and not have a cost to the event, but then able to enjoy the food trucks and maybe start to collect art or discover or learn something new. So that's a big mission for us, and always, you know, elevating our artists and creating more awareness for them, giving them a space to have exposure for their creativity. And we're looking into 2020 where we can even help young artists mentor with more established artists so that they can understand the business end of it as well. So connecting the new development that's happening within the city with the artists that live here in the 18 blocks of downtown Las Vegas that is really designated towards the art community. So those are some really important things for us. And then we're also focusing on our outreach programs. There was a $700,000 budget cut in our Clark County School District, and all of the arts and creativity and field trips. A lot of these Title I schools don't have any budget for that. So First Friday comes in and they pay for the buses for the kids to go to the Discovery Museum and enjoy creativity in that way. And we do a little bit of an empowerment, like assembly before the field trip, just to let kids know that there is creativity, that we are all creative beings, and that they can, even at a young age, think about the things that they're passionate about and make a difference right from where they are. So we're really working on our outreach programs right now, and for 2020 that's a big focus for us. So
awesome. That's fantastic. So what are some other goals for next year that you guys have besides doing more of that?
More of the outreach, and kind of just elevating the art experience for our artists. So you'll see a little bit of a different footprint, and you'll see more of an art walk. We're going to change the lighting at First Friday, so it's a little more festive and outdoorsy, and not so, with just the light towers and the brightness. So we're working together with some of our partners to create a softer light experience.
So like a gallery, basically.
So you're just walking through, and our art will be a little more juried and curated so that people can really discover and find some of those really unique talents that we have here in Las Vegas. And and the outreach programs, I think that's really one of the most important things, and supporting the new development. First Friday, really creates an economic impact for the city in this area. We bring out all of these visitors and local people to, discover the restaurants that are being built out here. We have so many different beautiful food choices and coffee shops that have just opened up, and 18 Bin and Esther's Kitchen, and visiting some of the breweries, the Craft House Brewery, and then we have a local wine shop now downtown. So a lot of antique stores, and just really creating when it's not First Friday, you're still coming down and enjoying the area where people are really investing their businesses in themselves. The Good Wolf is another one that's on Commerce and California Street. And what a wonderful family that just took over this like garage space and turned it into this amazing shopping experience. So, and they use you'll appreciate it, a lot of recycled things going on in there, and eco-friendly, and
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they're beautiful, really, really beautiful, and great additions to Las Vegas and to this particular area that I'm excited to watch unfold.
So you're reworking this image that people have of downtown, and also building up basically the local economy out here, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I just recently saw the thing where it said for every $100 that's spent in the community, $68 of that stays in the community. So instead of going to a chain restaurant or a Walmart or buying something on Amazon or something, where that money, most of that time it's put into a stock or someone CEO package pay or something. It doesn't go back into the community. When you buy something from a family-owned restaurant or a local artist or something, that's their grocery money, that's their money for school, to pay for their kids' school, their rent payment.
Money's like energy, right?
Exactly.
And so where's that energy being created?
Right.
And so when we create it within our local community, we continue to see everyone thriving off that same dollar, right?
And there's so much more appreciative of it.
Yes. agreed. And so yes, that's a huge, we had just recently the Shop Local Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was able to take my daughter and get lots of Christmas gifts and, birthday gifts and right from local shops here. And we really enjoyed ourselves just walking. It was a beautiful day, and it felt good to support the local businesses.
Right.
So.
I went to Ferguson's downtown. They did like a little extra. It wasn't the market in the alley that they do. They just did it in their little courtyard, but got to see some of the
Mothership Coffee.
Yes. I was gonna go get coffee down there, but they had a thing going on where if you spent $75 around at all the little vendors, you can go get a free coffee. So the line was like out the door and around the courtyard, and I'm just like, okay, no coffee today.
We have a new coffee shop that just opened up right here in the First Friday footprint called C3. C3 Coffee, I believe is what it's called, but it's three C's. And it's community, connectivity, and cooperate. And they're really wonderful, like delicious little coffee house. The coffee's phenomenal, but they any profits that they make, they give back to the local community in a nonprofit way. So
awesome.
So it's kind of exciting. Like they're not keeping any of their profits. They're putting all those dollars back into the local community. So beautiful little space right around the corner. So you have to go check them out.
Awesome. So we had a really great time vending at First Friday. Thank you so much for the opportunity, by the way. For others out there who would like to be a vendor at future events, what kind of vendors usually come out? Is it just art and food? Do you have like other types of people who come out?
Well, First Friday is a community event, so it's really open to everyone. And we have on our website, which is www.ffflv.org. So if you go to our website, there's an application for food, and there's an application for artists, and then there's an application for sponsors. So if you're not a food vendor or a artist, creating your own work, then you fall into more of a partner sponsorship category. And then we just create, a package for our partners to come out and create awareness for what they're doing, create awareness for their brand and help support the event. Because it's through our partners that we're even able to put on this event every single month. So those would be the extra vendors that you would see out there, or exhibitors. And then we always create space for other nonprofits. So we're always trying to work with other nonprofits and things that they have going on in the community and create a spot for them where there's awareness happening and stuff like that. So you'll see a little mixture of quite a few different things.
Beautiful. So what's the approval process like?
Well, for our food, we do have a food curator. And she does a really fabulous job to make sure that we don't have, all barbecue trucks out at the event, so that there's some choices, that are variety. Done. So it just depends on the month and what our footprint looks like and what our attendance is expected to be, and then we try really hard to make sure we keep that ratio and not oversaturate on the food. Our artists have to go through a jury process through our art curation board, and we have an art coordinator who helps set them up. So we'll have that art walk, and we have canvas art, we have pottery, we have art of all genres. Obviously, spoken word, you got to experience that, and poetry, music, musicians. We'd like oil and acrylic and pencil and drawing and all the different mediums of art out at the event, and then you will see some crafts, some handmade crafts, jewelry, and things like that. So clothing. We have so many amazing local designers in Las Vegas. It's incredible. So we had a fashion show not too long ago that was quite amazing with young models and local designers back in October. And it was judged. We had some fun judges out there, and the winners received a stipend from First Friday for their work. So it was really lovely. Yeah,
that's cool. So you got a little bit of everything going on.
Going on.
Love it. How much does it cost for someone to run a booth at the event?
Well, it depends on what they're doing. If they're an artist, I've been with First Friday a little over 7 years now, and we have never raised the prices for our artists. It's always $100 for the booth space. And then oftentimes we do have an area where we set up featured artists or live artists that can come out for free and paint and then connect with the community. It's always $100. And then our food trucks are $400, and our food tents, I believe, are $3. And then everyone else who is a sponsor or a partner, we build a package depending on what they'd like. So if they're just looking for space at the event, or are they tapping into our digital assets? Are they on our website? Are they in our media? All of those kind of things determine what their packaging might look like. So yeah, we just built that out with them.
Oh, well, that seems pretty affordable,
Yeah.
especially for the starving artists out there. know.
Yes.
What are some restrictions to being a vendor, if there is any?
Well, there is restrictions for artists.
Okay.
They have to be creating their own work.
Right.
So we have no resell work. And we're becoming more, I think we've seen some of that come out. It just happens, at some point, but we're reeling that in for 2020. So no resell work, everything's original art created by the maker, by the artist. That we want to see out at the event, so that it elevates that experience. And then, food trucks, obviously they have to have a health
Right.
permit, and we do have the health department come in and make sure we don't want to get anybody sick that comes out to the event. So, and have some good food. That might be, we're really excited about our food trucks because we have some really great ones that come out, and the food is so delicious. So, yeah.
With the art, since it is a family-friendly event, is there ever any restrictions on like the type of art that can be displayed, or where the art is displayed? If it is a subject matter that maybe they want in an adult-only area, or not like?
Well, that's a little tricky with art, right? I think the whole discover and find of art, and is, we don't want to see. It is a family-friendly event, so what is art, right? What do you see when you go to an art gallery?
Right. I love that piece that you had here in the office of
yes. So, and that was out at the event, right? That was created out at the event by Clarice Terra. She did a series on women and reproductive, and and she was talking more about the journey of life when we come through a female through a woman, and we're able to create life. We're the food source, right? When women breastfeed. So it was a whole series just about the beauty of a woman, and then how it can turn into all of a sudden it's a thought of desire, right? And all those things have to go together to create
Right.
life anyways, right? So it was just a little bit of, but you would see that out at First Friday. And I think, for when you're bringing your family out, or your children, or you're discovering, or you're in an art walk, you expect to see lots of different things that will develop conversation.
Right. It's going to make you think a little.
Yeah, that makes you think a little bit. So I like to think that, we don't have any pornography. Yeah, we wouldn't have any like X-rated stuff going
Right.
on. We wouldn't want to see that. I know that sometimes free art, sometimes people want to come in and they create art and become unclothed or something. And so of course we ask people to be covered up and stay more family oriented and respectful, that not everyone is on that same page, right?
Right.
So, nothing too shocking, but definitely conversational pieces, I think.
As long as it has a legitimate purpose to it, essentially.
Yeah.
And
I think artists genuinely, they usually do have a purpose to their work,
Right.
right? It's something that they're feeling or thinking, or something that's important to them. And if you get to know if the piece even is shocking to you, but you go to the artist and ask, what was your thought behind this? it might not be as shocking to you after you discover what was meant within that piece.
Yeah, like art is a form of communication, and it's like people put a message within it, and the receiver of that message has to be able, tries to interpret.
And I think, yes, and I think that that's another beautiful thing about First Friday is that you can really, connect with the artist and get to know the artist's work. And then when you hang that piece of art it's not like you just bought a painting that, you thought was pretty or that you were attracted to. Now you found something that resonated with you, that you were attracted to, but now you have a story that goes on behind that, and you've met the artist and you become this collector of their thought, right? Because some of them, I've beautiful artists out here, and when you really sit down and you get to know what they were thinking when they created that piece, it's moving.
Right, and then now you have a meaning with that piece, and it's not like, you go into a Walmart and you buy a generic piece of art that, 1,000 other people have because it's being sold at Walmart.
And not to, yes, exactly, and not to, lessen value to the artist who maybe created that piece for Walmart, right? They were an artist in their way as well, right? It just happened to get mass produced out there, and
congratulations to them for being able to do that.
To figure that out and create some sustainability for themselves in that manner. That was the direction they chose to go in. But yes, you can look around the office and see some beautiful pieces by, amazing artists, Alex Huerta and Three Bad Sheep. We've got Juan Munez here. We've got, Gem Art and, Liquid and
I love this piece over here with the sharks and everything. And I was seeing the thing that says Big Oil, and now they're all, now I'm seeing the hummingbirds. I love it. It's beautiful.
And it's beautiful, right? And those were done live at the event. And, artists came out like Gina Bobina and Justin Lepper and Asia Skeen and, wonderful, wonderful artists that came out and collaborated together on these pieces and worked together to just do what they love, and people could watch them create it and then fall in love with the piece. So yeah, I think it's cool. That piece is actually really awesome.
Right, got a mutant shark.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. Oh, and it's got little devil horns and an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And but if you look at it, it's talking about what? Big oil, right?
Yeah, and probably like an oil spill and
love, yeah. And the birds are covered in black oil, and then they're probably, those sharks feel like they're on fire,
right? Radioactive.
They need help, yeah. So there's definitely something going on in there.
I wonder if they're also interpreting like the Fukushima disaster that happened a few years ago, where all that radioactive material got dumped into the ocean and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you should talk to the artist.
Oh,
you might just need that piece in your house.
Right? It's beautiful.
Too bad your podcast isn't live, so people can see what we're talking about.
Right.
But it's very colorful and beautiful, and I think that's the beauty of art. Back to your question, just to round it up, it's what you discover and find when you're walking through. It's a conversation piece, and
right. What jumps out at you and pulls you in like a magnet.
Yeah.
On spoken art, what kind of things can people do on the stages at the event?
We do monitor the spoken word a little bit more carefully because we used to have an open mic where people could get up and it became a very big ranting poetry kind of session, and but it was a lot of potty mouth words, I guess is what I'll say, and we don't want that. We don't want screaming of obscenities, or whether they're obscene to I think we have the freedom of speech, and I think that words are words, and but how we use them and what we're saying, and being just mindful of the audience that's around us.
Right, you got a bunch of kids.
You have a lot of kids running around, and and one day they'll be grown-ups, right? And so It's the way that it's done. So we do monitor that a little bit, and we do ask, like, even our musicians, when they get up, that they're not singing, vulgarities or profanities, and that we've all agreed are, probably not good things to be blasting off on stage unless you're going to an adult, comedy show or something, right? But things with purpose and things that people wrote that are close to their heart and that they want to express themselves, and just leave out the 4-letter words, I guess, and even though maybe that gives it the emphasis that you wanted, we try to not go in that direction on the stages, but we love all of it, because I think I love poetry, so and I love books, right? I love writing, so and I think when even young children or young people see how they can express themselves through words and like you expressed yourself on a stage, how was that for you?
That was awesome.
You said you never brought your magazine out there, so and it gives you a confidence in what you're saying, and that you're being heard, and now someone else is inspired by what you said. So inspire people by the words that you use, because they're powerful, right? I think that's important. So we try to bring that into First Friday.
Right, absolutely. No, one of it was Monsi from the 5 Hour Revolution group. She did her poem, but I didn't realize she was gonna rap it, and that was really cool. Like, she was all out there and loud and great about it, and I was like, yes. So I thought she was just gonna read her poem, and she got very theatrical about it, and I was just like, this is great. I think they had to come over and turn the sound down on the mic because the sound was up, kind of high, and she was just like, hey, and it was great. And everyone was just like, oh. They really stopped and looked at us for a second there, because they're just like, oh, what is she rapping about? Plastic? That's fantastic.
It's so fantastic.
Or as she said, you are not fantastic.
I love it. Yeah, we had some really, like last month, we had a lot of really good spoken word and rapping, their poetry, and
getting all into it.
So cool. Yeah,
beautiful.
I loved it. I got to catch some of it, and it was fantastic.
I love being a part of it. So what are some of the themes that you guys do for the events?
Well, we pick our themes, and we go a year out, so every year right around this time, like we just picked our themes for this year, and we think about what's going on in our community, what kind of issues are we addressing, what kind of other events are happening within the city that we can help to coordinate a little bit with, and maybe have those people come out and create awareness for what they're doing. So that's how we kind of pick our themes. January is Roar in the 20s.
Yay!
So like Roaring 20s, but it's Roar, R-O-A-R, Roar in the 20s.
I love it.
Because it's going to be 2020, a whole new decade. So we're excited for that. And and then you can play off. The themes are always something that you can interpret for yourself. So Roaring 20s, bring you back to flappers.
Right.
Yeah, and speakeasies. Or, you could be thinking like a lion, roar, right? Roar, and being strong and powerful, and you're going to just really take this year by the strength that you have. So there's that. And then in February, because we're doing the Trash Dash, and it's also Black History Month, it's Dream Clean. Like Martin Luther had a dream, so dream clean, right? So that'll be February's, yeah. And then, not to go into all of them, but we are going to be working on the importance of art and your brain health. So in March, it's Brainwave, and you'll see a lot of interactive art out at the event that stimulate the mind and stimulate the brain, and help with things like dementia and different mental issues, and just anything that's incorporated with brain injuries and things like that. They find that art is very healing and helpful.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I got the opportunity to meet you at the Art You OK event back in, it was September, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was an amazing event, like getting to see all the different people performing and showing how self-expression can help with, fighting mental illness, especially depression and having, suicidal thoughts and everything. So that was fantastic.
We're going to do it again in September, and we're hoping to coordinate with the Las Vegas Academy and have their students talk about, because it's Suicide Prevention Month,
right?
And just talk about the things that they're going through in their life and how do they express that through art, the struggles that they have or the feelings that they're having. And the theme for September is value. So there's value in life, there's this value in what you're doing, there's value in this conversation that you and I are having right now, right? So there's just value in everything. And so we'll be hoping to support Art You OK again in September.
And I was talking with Gregory from the city of Las Vegas, and he said that they're also going to try and do it in May as well.
Oh, lovely.
So I think they're going to try to do it twice this year.
I'm not going to tell you what's happening in May. You're going to have to, because I don't want all your guests to know yet, but May is going to be very special at First Friday as well.
So since we touched on mental health a little bit, have you personally seen how art and self-expression can make a positive impact on someone's life, especially with yourself?
Oh, absolutely, with myself. I'm a writer by trade, and by hobby, I should say. And writing, which is a form of art, is certainly helped me, just journaling and throughout my life, on the journey. So it helps to relieve stress and get your thoughts out, and it has its significant thoughts. And then just meeting artists and seeing the things that they're going through and connecting with people and the way that they're able to heal and express themselves through their creativity as well is always seeing things firsthand for sure. We've had artists out here that are young that were on a road to maybe not such a good road, and they've actually come to me and said that First Friday saved their life.
Wow.
So just being here and being able to express themselves and being able to show their art and being accepted and being included, because First Friday is an all-inclusive event as well, where there's no judgment and everyone comes from all different walks of life on this one night to look at the same pieces of art, maybe in different ways, but there's a common denominator, because art breaks down barriers and it breaks down, walls, and it allows people to have conversation from all different places of wherever they're at, and you meet each other right where you're at. And I love that about the event. So I think that's one of the reasons that I love First Friday so much as well, because it really creates that safe space. There's always a good energy that's flowing around First Friday,
right.
and you see someone skipping and dancing and happy and
having a good time.
And if you're walking through the event and you're not feeling so great, just someone else smiling at you or watching someone else enjoy, you're going to naturally be uplifted. And then a piece of art that resonates with you and moves you into the next step of your life. And and if you take on art and you decide, to pick up a paintbrush and start something new, now you've discovered something about yourself.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's just a really full circle, very needed, and that's why it's important to me to continue the outreach programs that are missing in our schools.
Yeah. And art also helps you to, better understand yourself as a person as well, especially like when you're getting down deep into it, learning how you yourself yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you learned or gained through your work and experiences with the organization over the years?
What are some things that I've learned about myself? Or
just in general about yourself, about the community, about, whatever you've personally taken in.
I've learned balance. Yeah, because putting on First Friday every single month is it's interesting. And before I was the executive director, I was the development director and fully in charge of the sustainability of the events, and that can be very stressful. So trusting the universe that things will, work the way that they should. So I've learned trust, balance, to try to balance, I'm human, so my own personal life with, the responsibilities of the event that are they're big responsibilities to make sure that it happens, is really important. So learning that balance and learning my own strengths and yeah, I've grown a lot in First Friday. So yeah, and met a lot of amazing people and yeah, broke down my own barriers that maybe I didn't even know I had. So yeah,
Right.
so yeah, I've had a great experience.
That's awesome. I can feel all that good energy coming off of you. What are the most favorite parts about the work that you do?
My most favorite parts is connecting the community, is figuring out how do we use the event for a greater purpose than just, I want it to be something where we know that we've done our best to create a safe environment for people to come out and express themselves and discover something new, create awareness for other, like the Millennials in Motion and what you're doing, which is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And how do we give those platforms and make it affordable so that people can come out and really thrive in whatever their own journey is. And then creating a cohesive team, right? So First Friday, I don't put on First Friday by myself. I have an entire team that puts on First Friday day of. It gets very big, a very much larger team. So it's everyone working in union together and cohesively and really supporting each other along the way. So yeah, it's like a little family. Yeah.
It's like putting all these little puzzle pieces together and then you get this whole big picture.
And all of that, at the end of the day, when the event is over, you're exhausted but exhilarated at the same time.
Yes.
Then you know you've had a good event.
That was me last Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, at the end of the day, like I had talked so much and so fast and everything. It was starting to lose my voice a little, and I was only on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So I was just like, I'm tired, but this was amazing.
I've had those First Fridays where I've had blisters on the bottom of my feet and we were on both sides of the street and it was hot and you're just walking and constantly moving and going and lots happening. And I've had some interesting First Fridays, but at the end, it was all, or my body was aching the next day. Yeah, because oh my goodness. But you knew that the event had great purpose and that it touched the lives of whoever walked through, or the artists that were able to show their work, or the musicians that were able to get on stage. We have young artists that started when they were maybe 5 or 6 years old, so now they're 12, or I met them when they were 12 and now they're in their 20s. And they're on to making records, or they're on to, some of them are on tour, or they're having shows in the casinos, in the larger casinos, and they started building their confidence on our First Friday stages. That gets me excited to watch them having take their craft to another level, and knowing that they started here, and some of them we had to push on the stage because they were afraid and shaking in their boots basically. And now they're just soaring, out there, and to see the students come out from the schools and perform on our stages or show their work, those kind of things really get me excited. So
see all these different people's journeys and experience and be around all the passion.
Yeah,
it's literally in the air.
It's inspiring. Yeah,
it's
great, and everybody's kind of, wherever they go from here, or wherever, or they come from and then leave, we're all on that same movement of making the world a better place.
Yes.
Just because we showed up on that day. I think that is beautiful and that is infectious, and it just kind of multiplies.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it kind of like goes with both of the little taglines I have for my organization, which is get in motion and be the change you wish to see. You know, because we gotta be involved in ourselves and the world around us, and take the things that we experience and learn and do something with it. You know, just keep the momentum going with, you know, ourselves and the people that are in our lives and the people that we meet.
Yes, I recognized that about you the first time I met you. Yeah, and I liked that.
So what is the outlook for 2020, and what are you guys looking to do for the new decade now that it's, you said, the roaring 20s?
We're going to roar in strong for 2020, and I am so excited. You know, the beautiful part of the First Friday journey is you can have a plan, but it always, just like life, it takes on its own existence, because it's built by all of the people that come to First Friday. So it's built by the community and the sponsors and the artists and the creativity and the attendees and the team, right? So that create this beautiful
it in itself is an art piece. This event,
it is, right?
But you have all these different artists that are, you know, painting different parts of the picture.
Unfold, and so that's the beauty of it, because you never know. You can have an outline and have a plan, but then you get to see where you end up. And I'm excited for this coming year, and I'm excited to see where we go. I'm excited to roar in the 20s for sure.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Do you guys need help with things like having volunteers or any types of donations? Obviously, you guys are a nonprofit.
We need donations. Right. We just started a campaign that is on our website, and you know, we take any donation, large or small. No amount is too small, and everyone, and we are grateful for all donations. And volunteers, absolutely, day of. We always need volunteers, and we do have a volunteer application and a volunteer coordinator. So he kind of sets up all of our volunteers where we need them throughout the event on the day of. And we have some very consistent volunteers that come out every single First Friday, so they're getting fulfilled in some way, and we greatly appreciate them. And then we have some that just kind of sporadically can come when they can, and we appreciate them as well. So yeah, we're definitely, you know, a large community event, and love to have, you know, the different influxes of people to help keep First Friday real.
Do you guys ever need any like physical donations for certain things, like, I don't know, like tables or things like that?
Yeah, we could definitely use tables for, you know, the eatery outside. We rent a lot of stuff, and then stuff that we have, you know, we use it as long as we can, and then we need to give it to you for recycling. And hammers, we need hammers. We need, you know, we need lots of things for our production lot. There's a lot that goes into putting on the event. Our labor team needs gloves, because especially in the winter, you know, it's cold out there, and they're out there for 17 hours a day. Oof. So they're there from 6 in the morning setting up, and they don't leave until 2 in the morning. So, and it gets cold, and they get tired, and, you know, all those good things. So, yeah, we're always in the need for things for our production, always looking for donations, always interested in helpful hands for First Friday, for sure.
Awesome. So anything that helps what you guys are doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can people get more information about the organization and support you guys in any which way?
Reach out to us and you know, get on the website. It's very updated, and usually you'll have everything that you need on the website. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Are there any last comments you'd like to share with the people listening?
Well, if you've never been to First Friday, I hope to see you out there and that you come and enjoy the event. Parking's always a little tricky, but
it's downtown.
It's downtown. and even if it's cold out, it's really a good time to come. We have fire pits out and whatnot. Put a coat on and put a scarf on and have a purpose to get out and really experience the artists. If you are attending First Friday, We're super appreciative that you come out to the event every single month, and to our artists that show, and our exhibitors, and especially to our sponsors who help make all of this possible. Just a huge thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for what you do. And I wanted to touch on how I love that it's, you know, open for everybody. And you mentioning the fire pit area reminded me when I was vending, and this gentleman came up and he was talking to me about my art. And I asked him, like, how are you doing tonight? You having fun? You having a good first Friday? He's just like, I'm good, but I'm a little cold. And then I realized this gentleman, you know, was homeless, and I was just like, there's a fire pit area like all the way over there. He's just like, there is? Oh, thank you so much. And like, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, see, we have all different walks of life that come through First Friday.
Yeah.
But everybody coming with the intention of just connecting and of you know, good energy. So
yeah.
I love that, and I'm glad he got to find a spot to get warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing time with me today, and for you know, being interested in First Friday and
Absolutely.
supporting First Friday.
Yes.
We love what you do as well with Millennials in Motion.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for giving me your time to sit down with me today. I had a very enjoyable conversation.
Me too.
Learned a lot. And thank you guys for listening. We hope you guys learned a lot about First Friday, and that you'll come out next year at one of the events. And you guys have a good rest of your year and a fantastic roaring 20s. Bye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to our 11th episode of Conversations with the Community, which is also our last episode of the year. We hope you've enjoyed our conversation with Corey from the First Friday Foundation, and that you've learned a lot about what they're all about and what they do here in Las Vegas with supporting artists and the community as a whole, as well as learn more about the concept of art and how it connects all of us. And we hope that you're inspired to come out to this event and others like it that bring us together and build community solidarity. If you want to learn more about the First Friday Foundation, to get involved or support what they do, please check them out through the links that are listed in the description below. Like what we do and want to get notifications for new content or learn more about us? Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, check out our various platforms, and visit our website, mimmag.com. And if you want to support us, please check out our Patreon community to see the benefits that we offer to our patrons. Thank you so much again for listening. Until next time, I'm Kat from Millennials in Motion magazine. This has been Conversations with the Community, and please remember to be kind and be the change you wish to see. And don't forget to have a fun, safe, and fantastic new year. We'll see you in 2020.